Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain second law of thermodynamics. The content I have explained in this video are as follows. First, I will explain some numericals on efficiency of Carnot cycle, limitations of first law of thermodynamics, reversible process, and different statement of second law of thermodynamics. So in previous video, I have explained Carnot engine and Carnot cycle. So what is Carnot engine? Carnot engine is an ideal heat engine which converts heat energy into mechanical energy. The thermodynamic process that considered in this Carnot engine is Carnot cycle. In Carnot engine or in Carnot cycle, what happens is that working substance, that is ideal gas, absorbs some heat energy from the source so that it undergoes series of thermodynamic process. As a result, it does some amount of work by losing certain heat energy to the sink. Then efficiency of a Carnot is defined as ratio of amount of work done by the system or work done by the working substance to the amount of heat absorbed by the working substance from the hot source, that is W by QH. This is an expression for efficiency of a Carnot cycle or a Carnot engine. So W is equal to QH minus QC, that is the differences of heat energy of a heat reservoir and cooled reservoir, heat energy given to the cooled reservoir, QH minus QC. So here you can see PV diagram of Carnot cycle. So here working substance undergoes series of thermodynamic process. Here isothermal process expansion along AB. AB is isothermal curve, BC is adiabatic expansion, and again isothermal compression and adiabatic compression. So these are the thermodynamic processes which occur in Carnot cycle. So here efficiency is W by QH. Then we'll move on some problems on some numericals on efficiency of efficiency. So first problem is a steam power plant produces 50 megawatt of net work while burning fuel to produce 150 megawatt of heat energy at the high temperature. Determine the cycle thermal efficiency and the heat rejected by the cycle to the surroundings. So what is efficiency? Efficiency is W by QH, W output by QH. So here W is given, that is work done is equal to 50 megawatt. Then amount of heat energy absorbed by the working substance from the source, that is from the hot reservoir, is QH, that is equal to 150 megawatt. So substitute the value of W and QH, you will get 0.333 or 33.3%. This is the efficiency of a engine power plant. Then second part is the heat rejected by the cycle to the surroundings, that is given by W is equal to QH minus QL. So we need the value of QL here. So QL can be written as QH minus W. Substitute the value of W and QH. So you will get 150 minus 50, that is 100 units of QL. So that is the amount of heat energy given to the surroundings. Next we'll move on second problem. Second problem is like this. A Carnot heat engine receives 50 kilojoules of heat per cycle from a high temperature heat reservoir at 652 degrees Celsius and rejects heat to a lower temperature heat reservoir at 30 degrees Celsius. Determine the thermal efficiency of their thermal efficiency of this Carnot engine. Second one is the amount of heat rejected to the lower temperature heat reservoir. Here the efficiency of a Carnot engine in terms of temperature is 1 minus TL by TH, where TL is temperature of low temperature heat reservoir, TH is temperature of high temperature heat reservoir. So efficiency is equal to 1 minus TL by TH. Substitute the value of TL and TH in terms of kelvins. So here they given a temperature TL and TH in terms of degrees Celsius. So those values can be converted by in terms of Kelvin by adding 273. So by substituting after adding 273 to each value, so we will get TL and TH in terms of Kelvin. Then substitute the value of TL and TH, you will get the efficiency of this Carnot engine is equal to 0.672 or 67.2%. In second part, the amount of heat rejected to the low temperature heat reservoir can be get with the help of this ratio QL by QH is equal to TL by TH. So we need QL value. QL is equal to TL by TH into QH. So QL is equal to 500 kilojoules into 0.328. So TL by TH, the ratio of TL by TH is equal to 0.328. Then just by multiply it by 500 kilojoules, that is QH, we will get the value of QL as 164 kilojoules. So this is how we can calculate efficiency of any Carnot engine, and we'll get amount of heat energy given to the sink or low temperature heat reservoir. Next we'll move on. Next concept called reversible process. What are reversible process? A reversible process is one that can be executed in the reverse direction with no net change in the system or the surroundings. At the end of forward and backward reversible process, both systems and the surroundings are returned to their initial state. So best example for reversible process is Carnot cycle. So in Carnot cycle, what happens is that the working substance undergoes series of thermodynamic process. The thermodynamic system the process started from point A. So point A represents thermodynamic system, contains some state variables as P1, V1, T1. This is the state of thermodynamic system at point A. After series of thermodynamic process, it reaches same point P1, V1, T1. So this series, after series of cycle, it reaches initial point. So this process we call it as reversible process. A reversible process is one that can be executed or in the reverse direction with no net change in the system or the surroundings. So Carnot cycle is an example for reversible process. However, reversible process are theoretically the most efficient process. So here you can observe different processes in our daily life. Here with the help of food we can get heat energy, but Carnot's process is not possible. With the help of heat energy we can't create wood. So here this is not a reversible process. This is a irreversible process. For example, rusting of iron. This is also a reversible process. So here ice and juice. Here there is one example. Here conversion of liquid into ice by decreasing the temperature of the system. We can convert the liquid form to solid form. Again, by increasing temperature of the ice, we can convert it into liquid. So we can consider this as a reversible process. So then we will move on. Limitations of first law of thermodynamics. What are the limitations of first law of thermodynamics? So first law of thermodynamics states that the amount of heat energy given to the system is equal to sum of increasing internal energy of the system and amount of work done by the system, that is delta Q is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Where delta V is the change in volume of the thermodynamic system. So in case of isothermal process, delta T is equal to 0, because isothermal process means the process in which temperature of the system remains constant. That means change in temperature of the system is equal to 0. So that is delta T is equal to 0. That is why delta U is equal to 0. That is change in internal energy of the system for isothermal process is 0. In case of isothermal process, delta Q can be written as equal to W. Q is equal to W in case of isothermal process. That means whatever the heat energy given to the system, that entire heat energy is converted into amount of work done. So which is not possible from the experience, which is not possible. So this is one of the limitation. That means your work is completely converted into heat or heat is completely converted into work. They are interconvertible. So which is not possible. This is one of the limitations of first law of thermodynamics. Second limitation is first law of does not help to predict whether the certain process is possible or not. So for example, here we have considered hot container and cooled surroundings. So hot container has certain a temperature which is higher when compared to cold surroundings, temperature of cold surroundings. So because of this temperature difference, there will be flow of heat energy from hot container to the cold surroundings. So this process is possible, whereas conversion process is not possible. That means the temperature, the heat energy never flows from colder object to hotter object, which is not possible. So first law does not help to predict whether the certain process is possible or not. And also the first law of thermodynamics does not give any information about direction of process. Direction of process. So these are all some certain limitations of first law of thermodynamics. So we'll move on statements of second law of thermodynamics. So there is no simple statement that captures all the aspects of the second law of thermodynamics. Several alternative statements of second law are found. So they are Clausius statement and Kelvin-Planck statement. So what is Kelvin-Planck statement? The Kelvin-Planck statement of the second law of thermodynamics states that it is impossible for any device as a heat engine that operates on a cycle to receive heat from a single reservoir and produce net amount of work. So this is a statement of Kelvin-Planck's statement of second law of thermodynamics. Or it is impossible to make an engine which works on a single temperature source and converts all of its heat completely into work. So this is another form of Kelvin-Planck statement. This statement means that only part of total heat absorbed by the heat engine from a high temperature is converted into work. The remaining heat must be rejected at a low temperature. So here in previous video I have explained Carnot engine. So Carnot engine is works in between two temperature sources, hot reservoir and sink, that is cold reservoir. So here it is not possible to make an engine which works with the help of only one source of temperature. So we need another source of temperature to reject the certain amount of heat energy so that we can get certain amount of work from the working substance. So what is Kelvin-Planck statement? Kelvin-Planck statement states that it is impossible for any device as a heat engine that operates on a cycle to receive heat from a single reservoir and produce net amount of work. So in simple words we can say no heat engine has a 100% of thermal efficiency. So this is the simplest form of Kelvin-Planck statement of second law of thermodynamics. No heat engine has a 100% of thermal efficiency. Next, Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics. Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics states that it is impossible to construct a device as a heat pump that operates in a cycle and produce no effect other than the transfer of heat from lower temperature to higher temperature body. So this is statement of second law of thermodynamics, Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics. So this statement means that heat cannot flow from cold body to hotter body without any work input. So this is another form of, in simple words we can say this statement means that heat cannot flow from cold body to hotter body or hot body without any external agency or without any work input. Or we can say easily in terms of another words, it is impossible for a system to operate in such a way that the sole result would be an energy transferred by heat from a cooler to a hotter body. So heat can never flow from object at lower temperature to a object at higher temperature. So this is a statement of Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics. So this is about different statement of second law of thermodynamics. Here you can observe with the help of diagrams. You can Kelvin-Planck statement and Clausius statement. Clausius statement is heat never flows from cooler body to a hotter body. Similarly, the whatever the heat energy given to the system, its entire heat energy cannot be converted into work. So there may be some loss in the form of in other forms of energy. So this is about second law of thermodynamics. Thank you.